Hi, Neil.
Hey Precious, how are you?
Good-
Good morning.
I'm good. Good morning. Welcome to a new episode of 10x Developer Podcast. This is episode 26. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here. How was your weekend?
Weekend was crazy. uh, so, uh, so we were celebrating because it's a time of Durga Puja. It's one
Okay.
of our thing, Durga Puja. So it happens weekend here.
Oh, yeah.
So lots of party, lots of meeting friends, lots of good food. So I'm
Oh,
exhausted, but good exhaustion, right? I mean, yeah, it
yeah,
was
good
fun.
exhaustion. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I mean, mine was very slow. I had a couple of meetings. Some friends
Mm,
came into town. I needed to go meet them. Went
mm,
some places and all.
mm,
I mean,
mm.
summer is over, so they were going back to the US, so we needed to like hang out a little bit before
I see.
they go back,
Mm.
travel back to the
Yeah,
US.
yeah.
Yeah, where they
Yeah,
live.
makes sense. Makes sense.
All right.
All right,
So
we're gonna jump into the main story.
yeah, so the title for this episode is "The Truth About AI Usage," right?
Mm,
That is our main story. So the truth about AI
mm,
usage. So we are going to look at a research paper where we, you know, talked about research on how people are using AI. So that is what where we are going to start today. After we
yeah.
discuss that, we can now move into the other stories. So yeah,
Okay, I like it. I like it. We're switching things around. That's good.
yeah, yeah.
So, but I think this is not last week. I think a couple of weeks back, maybe. So, Anthropic and OpenAI both released sort of two research papers, and we will drop the links here. Both the research papers sort of look at the consumer data, like how people are using Anthropic, which is Claude, and obviously ChatGPT. Okay, how are users using it? And this paper, it was always fascinates me because we talk about the hype and we talk about everybody's with ChatGPT. Just getting some data around this sort of useful, right? So the scale is crazy, right? So there is almost like 700 million weekly users. Okay, and we see around 18 billion messages per week. This is just crazy stats. Like 29,000 messages are sent per second with some of this chat interfaces. And almost 10% of the world's population is sort of using it. Now, this is interesting because I was looking at a tweet which was fascinating to me. Is like, let me see if I can pull it up real quick in here. So it was based on like how how technology, how innovation is adapted throughout the history. So the stat is about how much time it took for 25% of US population to adapt that technology. Okay. So for electricity, it was 46 years. For electricity, it took 46 years to get like 25% of the US population to start using it, right? When it comes to social media, it was around, what is it, around 6 years. But for generative AI, it took 2 years, right? The speed of transformation is sort of crazy, which sort of indicates another important aspect is people getting value out of these tools, right? They're enjoying, they're getting values out of this, which brings up how people are using it, right? There is even though we tend to think, oh, using AI to automate work, code generation, but it turns out there is lots of very, very interesting work-life balances. Their non-work queries grew actually faster, which sort of indicates that a lot of people are using this tools as an advisor. Okay, so the internet users are often more asking for advice, around 49% of them, than do this work for me, right? So for the builders out there, there is a tremendous opportunity for sort of building advisor or research assistant using this technology. Okay. Um, so the gender gap has narrowed. Obviously, everybody is using it. One of the things that I sort of found very interesting is Singapore is is the top country that is sort of using like 4.6% usage of AI. Then comes Canada. I don't know how this is true, because I almost feel like the US should be number one, but it turns out the Singapore, I mean, people in Singapore probably uses AI more than any other country out there. Isn't that crazy? Yeah,
Wow,
it's just weird.
it's
Yeah,
crazy. I mean, Singapore,
yeah.
like,
So then Canada for
wow,
some reason, and then comes India, then Indonesia, and your Nigeria is there. I don't know. It's like fifth or sixth position. Uh,
oh wow,
Yeah, so I mean, this sort of indicates too, right? We talked about this, right? ChatGPT is creating different pricing model for India. I'm pretty sure they're going to target Africa and Nigeria for this, because the usages of those countries are
yeah,
drastically growing. Um, for
hmm,
the for the business side, obviously coding is still the king, right? Based on, I mean, I think this is probably a little bit skewed from Anthropic data, but because Claude is so popular, but coding is still heavily
yeah,
used. I think the way they're measuring it is the types of API call that they're getting from the usage. I think that's how
okay,
they're collecting the data.
from the
Automation is
usage, yeah,
still the key. 77% of the businesses are using AI for automation, and they detected that automation pattern. I think the way you use the API, they can detect agentic interfaces. So this is based on how many people are using this for an agent. Which
okay,
one interesting data point here, which I thought was very interesting, is users are not very price sensitive. They are willing to pay more per token for higher capability models. Uh,
oh
as long
wow,
as we talked about this, as long as they get value out of it. So there is an appetite for automating more critical and complicated work, and they don't mind dropping money or dollars for that, as long as models can deliver.
yeah,
Um, the last one, I mean, there are lots of interesting facts. I will encourage you guys to, if you can drop those links, I'll drop those links in here. Another interesting fact, I mean, it's not, I mean, we talk about that a lot. Context is still the bottleneck. The sophisticated use of
yeah,
the constraint, I mean, we talked about this a lot, right? I mean, constraint sort of drives this. So that also means, and I'm noticing this too, there are lots of startups and products coming around that helps you to sort of do context management. So organizations are heavily investing on them as well, because better context means you're going to get better outcome from these tools. Lots of interesting stuff.
yeah.
Anything that you found interesting or jumps out saying that, oh, that's sort of weird? Oh, there are a couple of interesting. Let's do some fun facts in here. So we just talked about that 70% of usage at non-work. This goes back to what we talked
Yeah,
about this before too, right? Remember when ChatGPT sort of deprecated GPT 4.0, and people got really upset on
GPT-4,
people
yeah,
got upset on Reddit, because yeah,
yeah,
I mean, people a lot of using them as an advisor, as a friend, or bouncing ideas. Um, hot topics are hot topics are practical guidance, info seeking, and writing. Writing is the biggest usage of these tools. Like generate a
yes,
story for me, summarize this, generate this email for me. This is still the biggest usage. Um, so,
yeah. So I'm trying to put
mhm.
up a. Oh,
No, no,
sorry,
go ahead,
go
go ahead,
on,
go ahead, go ahead.
go on. So I'm trying to put up a set of data on on the screen while you're talking about it, so we can talk through it. So I saw this pictorial
Uh,
data that sort of like explain
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
this research, right? So while you are talking, let me just quickly put it
Sure,
up on
sure.
the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. So while he's doing it,
All right.
this is a really, really good set of information in here.
All right. Can you see my
Yeah,
screen? All right. Yeah. So um I think this is basically saying breakdown of conservation conversations topic and basically what people are
mm-hmm.
googling, or not googling, sorry, what people are using this
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT for,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we can see that the highest so far is people using it to write on specific people asking
Yeah,
questions,
yeah,
right? Um, just like you said, 28.1% of the people are using it for writing. Then 28.3% are using it for
Mm.
guidance, practical
Mm.
guidance. Then 21% of the people are using it to seek
Mm.
information. Though I think this report I'm reading is specifically for
Yeah.
OpenAI. I'm not
Mm.
sure, but yeah, so this is what they are getting. So if you look in here, you can see that tutoring and teach me is around at 10%, right? And then people probably like asking questions about specific things
Mm.
like what's the weather in the USA today or all those kind of
Mm.
things is about 18%. These are the big
Mm.
ones. And we have edit or critique my text is about 10%.
Mm.
Right. So, and I think it is interesting. Another interesting thing is image generation. I mean, we had a lot of people at some point saying, "Oh, we are not going to give my data to AI, privacy, and all those things," especially initially when image generation became a
Yeah.
thing, right? But right now, I still see, looking at this data, we can
Yeah.
see that image generation is still topping
Yeah.
Google, and then people are asking about
Mm.
fitness.
I mean, it's not my
So
use case, but I can see how people are using it, right? I mean, if you do lots of presentation and stuff, you
yeah,
probably, yeah, it's a
so
fascinating set of
I didn't
stuff.
see anything on health. Yeah, on health, okay, there's health, fitness, and self care is around here 5%. Because I was interested, very much interested, on seeing how people are asking if they trust ChatGPT to take like medical advice from it. I think it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, so there is I know Microsoft is heavily working on this. Um, yeah, so
Okay.
there are buckets of this where they're fine-tuning some of these models for specifically healthcare use cases. But healthcare is a very
Yeah.
complicated beast too. I mean, so based on I posted recently an article about um, why AI will not replace radiologists, right? I mean, this is radiologist was like predicted
Yeah.
maybe a couple of years back. Oh, there will be no radiologists. AI will take over. You know how people predict, oh, we're not going to
Yeah.
have jobs anymore. And that's a very
Yeah.
interesting blog that goes through why it's not going to happen. In fact, what happened is the demand of this radiologist goes up. And one of the fundamental reasons is not that
Yeah.
models are not doing a good job. They're doing a good job, but doing something, that's why I don't trust benchmarks. Doing something on the benchmark in
Yes.
isolation versus real world is completely different.
Difference.
And there are
Yes. Yes. Yes.
insurance,
Yes.
if
Yes. So
radiology, say AI model tells you something, and if it's wrong, will insurance cover this? Whose liability is that? There are lots of challenges.
yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, I feel you. So I also think just what you said about AI is going to take over radiologists. You know how everybody says SEO is dead and everybody
Yeah,
is
yeah,
doing
yeah,
agent
right.
optimization. I saw a report by Google that says that Google search has actually gone up since
Uh,
AI came
uh,
up came out, right? So people are still googling. Google search has never reduced
uh,
since this whole AI
uh,
still started, right? They have still been on point.
yeah.
And at the same time, AI search is also
Mm,
increasing. And I've been wondering, is it that people don't trust AI searches, or do they search on AI and still go back to Google to
mm.
search? Or is it a habit thing? Or is it
I am.
as a result of,
Yeah, I
yeah,
wonder. I think it will be interesting to get the data in like two formats. Are when they're saying search gone up, are they also counting the search through their APIs? Because I can see that going up because
oh, yeah,
agents are making queries using the API. So I'll be interested to know is how many of the searches happening from going users going to google.com and searching them, or the searches coming from agents.
from agents,
Yeah,
right?
because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean we also use Google Search API, right? So I mean, um, so there are a
yeah.
couple of things I want to highlight because I know there are some builders listening to this. So how are you going to use this data? What should be sort of the interpretation of this? So whenever you're building any sorts of automation using these tools, this data is telling you that there is an appetite for advisor. So design for advisor fast, right? So if you're a vertical focus AI
Mm,
agent, make sure a user is going to be thinking of this agent as an experienced advisor who can I go and ask questions. So most users want guidance before automation. So if they're sort of going to be that interface of, hey, I have this problem, help me out. Automation where context is rich in enterprise win by wiring AI into systems, right? Going back to our back office automations that we're focusing on, right? If you're building systems that's going to connect to the legacy AI system that connects to the legacy data sources, there is a clear opportunity there. And localized usage modes. Always based on this data, I mean, there is always emphasize having human in the loop so that people can trust, the process and stuff. So.
Yeah. Right. I think that's very interesting one. And these are like very interesting
Yeah,
insights.
very. I mean,
These
it
are
sort
very
of
interesting.
echoes. I mean,
People
we
still
were
want,
sensing it, but getting the context now, who is using what, was very interesting. Yeah.
yeah. It's a very interesting one. Who is using what? I mean, I would have assumed that mostly developers are using this and everybody's using it to,
Yeah.
write code. Everybody's using it to build something. If you follow the hype on social media, right?
And always using
You're
it,
going to think that
for
everybody's
work,
building.
but tons of people are using it more for
Yeah,
non-work, right? Yeah.
more for
Yeah.
non-work, right? So which means people are telling you their secrets. People are having real life conversations with these AI
Correct.
agents,
Correct.
right? Yeah,
Correct.
which also goes back to that outburst that you mentioned about. You mentioned the outburst when they change the model and people are like, "Oh, the response is not the way you used to talk to
Right.
me
It's not
before,"
warm. It's not
because
friendly.
they've sort of like built,
Hmm.
yeah, they've sort of like built a relationship with that response. I don't know personally. I don't know if it's something good or if it's something bad, but we'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll find out in the coming
Hmm.
years, right? We're going to find out. The more people use it, the more we are going to know how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So all the other stuff's going up around. I think the news I want to start with is not the first news on my list. Is a news about Meta, right? So last weekend, Meta launched what they call Vibes. So So Vibes is a short form video feed where users create and remix purely synthetic content. They've partnered with Midjourney and Black Forest Lab to bring us this thing that they call Vibes. What do you think, Neil?
I mean, why? Yes.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Not my thing.
I mean, I don't think I like,
Yeah.
because I don't know why at first I was like, okay, why do you want
Yeah.
to give us an imaginary world? I mean, where
No, I mean, I
everything is
get
not
it. I
real.
mean,
These are,
get it in many use cases, but having a sort of infinite feed of AI generated videos that I will flip through and scroll and watch. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't that doesn't excite me at all. I mean,
yeah,
there would be
it doesn't
amazing
excite.
creativity there, obviously. Lots of interesting videos, lots of unreal videos, but
Yeah, I mean, even the
this
market,
this is what
even
I was. This is where we worried about the internet. If we continue to do this, I mean, is internet going to
yeah,
become this useless thing of all the synthetic data that yeah
yeah. And then what happens if everybody stops creating real
yeah
content and everybody just focus
yeah
on creating synthetic
yeah.
content? I mean, what happens to
I
AI?
mean, I
What
think
happens
there's
to
still
data
going to be demand
generation?
for this. I mean, obviously, Meta will still have raw Facebook feed and stuff, but it's interesting that they thought this could
Yeah,
be. I mean, they're experimenting, right? You never know. You never know.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Okay. Well, we have it now. I don't know if he's going to integrate it on Facebook. Recently, I figured that he has been merging everything by force from Thread to Facebook to WhatsApp to Instagram. So when you post on Instagram, it automatically goes to Facebook. People are messaging me on Facebook. I don't know why they were messaging me. just to find out that things, my Instagram activities were also showing up on Facebook, and it's just all messed
Mm,
up. But hopefully, we still separate this synthetic feed from real life feed,
that's a good
because
point.
I won't, everything. Yeah, I don't want to lose touch of
Yeah,
what is real and now get lost in
yeah,
the fictional
yeah.
world.
It's like
Yeah,
a brain rot, right? I mean, if you keep watching this, it's just doom scrolling essentially. Um,
yeah,
all right. So the big news is obviously GPT-5 Codex, right? It's making a lot of buzz out there. I haven't officially switched to that yet. I did download it and I've started playing with it. So this is their biggest update to the Codex is okay. So just to set the context, Codex is OpenAI's coding agent. Okay,
yeah,
it's been I think it's released. It's been released for a while now, maybe 6 months or less than a year. But they make some really big upgrades to this coding assistant. First of all, Codex is now runs on GPT-5 Codex model. I think there's a specially trained model for coding tasks, and it's available everywhere. So it can run on terminal. That's the version I've downloaded because I feel more comfortable working in terminal. So Codex CLI. It obviously integrates with IDE. It also runs on web. I think you can connect to your GitHub and do
yeah,
pull requests. Even runs on a mobile apparently. The specialized GPT-5 trained for
yeah,
real-world software engineering. I've been hearing really, really good reports about this. I mean, how much of this hype I can believe or not, I will find out when I start playing with this. But lots of people making
yeah,
switching from Claude to GPT-5 because they're refactoring tasks, their performance on refactoring, which is updating existing legacy code bases, not creating new feature. Their accuracy is pretty impressive. It's actually 51.3% compared to 33%. So they jumped 17 points, which is huge. So that means Codex is comparatively better in, hey, I'm having this bug in this my giant Java code base, go fix it for me, sort of problems.
yeah,
So that's the thing. I mean, I think it's really really getting better. Their CLI looks exactly like Claude. I mean, I think what Claude has done, Claude Code has done is that this inspired this next generation of coding agents. Now everybody is building
yeah,
CLI-based coding agents.
yeah. I mean, I think they've really won that market, and
Yeah,
just like we've seen both on the era of social media, on on in tech business recent
right.
years. So when one person gets it, just copy and tweak,
Copy.
just copy, tweak.
Feels very very
Yeah,
copy-ish. The UI. Mm,
yeah. So just copy, tweak. So why reinvent the wheel when someone has done it before? Just
mm,
take it, make it better.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
All right. So the next story I have here is sort of like a hackathon. So I picked this story because there's a hackathon attached to it. So the topic says Llama Index,
mm,
which is a Llama Cloud 1 year
mhm,
milestone, and then SEM2 improvement and full stack agent hackathon. So the hackathon was the major reason why I choose
mhm,
this. But then I think it's just an update on some of Llama Cloud
mhm.
tools. So the name of the tool is called SEM2. So um, this tool streamline building robust document processing pipeline for knowledge assistance. So if you're building knowledge assistance, you might know about this too. But the interesting part is the hackathon that they are organizing. So this hackathon, I'm trying to put it up on my
Mhm,
screen so that you guys can
mhm.
see it. This is a hackathon in partnership with, it's called Full Stack Agent Hackathon, featuring Llama Index, Copilot Kit, Composio, and Microsoft. And it's happening. Oh,
It happened already.
it happened already. Oh,
Yeah.
I was so excited about this. I just looked at.
Uh,
I was so excited about this. So it happened on Saturday. Oh, I wonder who won this $20,000.
uh, is
I
it
wonder who
is
won
it
this twenty thousand
is it
dollars.
remote or sounds
So
like it happened in
yeah,
Microsoft office in California.
yeah, California, yeah. But the way it was positioned on Twitter, where I saw it first, they made it look as if people from other parts of the world can also participate.
Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
That's cool. Cool. Yeah, we missed it by a couple of days.
Yeah.
So the next
time I'll catch it.
Yeah, next time I have it is the Anthropic Claude, another Anthropic story, integration with Xcode 26. We mentioned this a couple of times too. I mean, I think when we talk about Codex, coding agents and stuff, these are very this works very well in front end and back end sort of technologies. Front end mainly. If you have a JavaScript, TypeScript, these tools are really, or Python, they're really good. But when it comes to building mobile app, Android or Xcode iPhone app, the state of art is still catching up, to be honest. The reason these things are a little difficult because most of this development happens in their sort of existing infrastructure, which is for iPhone, you're probably going to go to Xcode, which is an IDE, right? Everything happens in there. So asking folks to switch to CLI to do a bunch of stuff is non-starter for some of these developers. They will not do that because their workflow is in IDE. So finally, some looks like now Anthropic Cloud and others are integrating with Xcode, which is great for iPhone developers. I think this is a really good news. There's been an official release now that with Xcode now you can use Claude. There's an interesting relationship between Apple and Anthropic. I think I don't know, something might come out of this.
I saw someone predict.
Yeah.
I saw someone predict that Apple is going to buy Anthropic.
Could happen.
Some months
Could
ago.
happen. I mean,
some months ago,
yeah.
It could. Yeah.
So that's wonderful news. I'm sure the iPhone developer, mobile developers, really excited. Finally, you can start to experience the benefit of some of this. Which I'm assuming the debugging. Xcode has lots of automation included, right? Running the app, running the phone. So looks like that integrates very well with the existing Xcode infrastructure. So creating Swift UI, previews, playgrounds, and workflows, all that now be baked in with Claude. So
yeah. Okay, that's really interesting, though.
I'm glad they're finally catching up.
With the whole vibe coding thing, with the whole vibe coding thing, I'm sure Google Play Store, they need to give us their data because every day I go online, I see people launching this new app on Google Play Store, which is Android, right? And then it's most of these apps were vibe coded. They just quickly vibe code these things, and they use Firebase, Firestore, something like that. So Google has a lot of tools around building mobile apps, building web apps. So it's easy for you to just pay, build, deploy, and push on the stores, right? So it's really interesting to see that Apple is catching up. I mean, some might argue that they always play catch up.
Yeah. It's finally. I mean, I'm sure Android Gemini is integrated with Android. Java devs are moving to. I think Java devs are mainly now focusing on the model or agent that IntelliJ guy released. So it's interesting to think through. It's not hey, I have a coding agent. It's very important to also understand how people build, right? And it has to integrate with their existing workflow. It's hard to ask developers to change their existing workflow, especially the experienced one. They will not do it because changing ID is not it's not an easy decision, because once you work with IDs, right, you build a shortcut, you build a habit, right? You have configurations, you know how to move fast. You cannot suddenly ask them, hey, move to VS Code, because that's where the cursor works. And I hear lots of company developers resist that. No, I'm not going to use VS Code just because of cursor, because I use this. So
I mean, it's one of those things in and out.
Yeah, you gotta understand.
It's business
you have to meet them where they are.
Especially for the companies.
Essentially, you have to meet them where
they are. Yeah. I mean, that also means, what about the new guys like Bolt.new, V0? I mean, maybe they're probably targeting a
Yeah,
few
different
different
market.
markets, maybe
Yeah, yeah,
product managers, marketers that want to, ordinary people that want
correct,
to build,
correct. You're right.
not
You're
developers that
right.
want. All right. Yeah. So the next news I have here is from a company called Factory AI. So Factory AI unleashes Drugs AI. So they created this thing called Droid. So just where we have Android,
Mm.
right? Droids AI. So and then they assume that it hits number one on terminal bench with 58.75% accuracy on coding tasks. You know, um, I mean, everybody's always hitting number one or number two on terminal benchmark, but we can't judge them. So they have just raised a $50 million Series B funded on a Series B funded platform. And this platform is going to help developers delegate their entire feature, debugging and incident reports across any
Mm.
IDE. Back to what you said you know, about meeting developers where they are. They said this works across every IDE,
Oh wow.
which I think is sort of like an interesting marketing
Yeah.
positioning. When you position yourself that way, you sort of like look different from
Right.
every other guy. And I'm sure that is why they were able to raise that amount
Mhm.
of money. They raised $50 million, right? So I'm going to drop the link to their website in the chat. It's called
Mm.
factory.ai.
Mm. I heard
And
about those guys.
yeah. And I also think, oh yeah. I think they're also on the
Yeah.
terminal. I think their first solution was on the terminal.
Mm. No, I think yeah, maybe. I think they're completely. I mean, sounds of it is that it's like your AI developer sort of thing, right? It's not they're building something where they can delegate entire features and debugging. I think this is like they call it droids because I think there's a collection, there's a multi-agent architecture, multiple agents working together to solve your problem. In your link, I see
Okay.
NVIDIA, JP Morgan Chase, which is a large bank in here. Was
Yeah.
give an indication that maybe JP Morgan Chase is using them, right? I mean, a client is funding, so that could be a huge validation for them.
Yeah.
Knowing I know JP
Yeah.
Morgan
Yeah.
Chase has a very complicated architecture. Obviously, large bank has lots of complexity. If they're able to demonstrate
Yeah.
value there, which is a great thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe you. All right. So do you have the next story?
Yeah. So my next story is going back to a little bit open source in here. So Meta is obviously doing. Has been very open source friendly, right? Including Llama and other models
Yeah.
they've been releasing, um, which is good.
Which is
Yeah,
surprising.
which is really good. Even though, what was the last thing we said? The one model that OpenAI released is the top.
Is it O mini, O3 mini?
No, they have an open source version now, right? What is it called? I'm blanking out.
Yeah. I think it called
Yeah, whatever the open source model, I'll find
um
out after my story. Open source model that OpenAI released, I think scores number one in reasoning, uh, number one model from US,
OSS.
not the number one model all over the world. I think China is still at the top with the open source reasoning
Yeah.
model. But this one, particularly what they call is a code wall model, is interesting. They're opening up for research. The reason I picked this story is not, hey, just another open source model. Who cares, right? There's so many out there. It's obviously 32 billion parameters, so it's a massive model. What's interesting about this model is that this model is trained on not just static data, like here is a bunch of code files, read it and understand. It's also been trained on
Yeah.
program execution. That means stack traces, debugging information,
Oh.
reasoning. Sometimes, in fact, the mathematical representation of that code, also the mathematical reasoning. Okay, so the goal is that means this agent solves the output of the programs, output of the error messages by interacting with Dockerized repositories. Okay, the reason for doing this is that they want this model to be not only just code generation, but think like an engineer. Okay, so given a problem, understand, given an error, given a stack trace, figure it out. What's the reason of this bug? What's the reason of this error? And try to solve it, which is debugging is probably one of the most important skills a developer can have, right? You write a program runs
Yeah,
is great, right? But as a developer,
yeah,
most of the time it doesn't happen that way. You get an error, then you have to figure out where the error is coming from. Or
yeah.
if you build something that caused error
Coming
in
from.
other part of the system. So turns out that this Meta's essential goal is to, can we build models around solving that aspect of the problem? And
No,
based on some of the
nice,
numbers I
nice,
see in
nice.
this here are pretty impressive. So here is the paper that go check it out, how these models have been trained. They use some interesting patterns in here too. All right, you're up, Precious.
Yeah, so there's this story from Microsoft. It's called, they said Microsoft is, you know, Microsoft merged business focused AI app stores into one Microsoft
Mm,
marketplace. You know, I think it's with Agent Link. Yeah, Agent Link was because I mean, AI marketplace. I've not seen any of the big companies talk about it,
mm,
right? I've not seen any of the big companies talk about AI. Today I was submitting our agents, our biz dev agent to an AI marketplace directly this
mm,
morning when I woke up. So I was filling out the form. So this guy has he just created like a sheet of AI agents, what they can do. Just submit your website and they pull out your data and you can just submit.
mm,
Seeing people doing this, I submitted one last week, I submitted another one today. So we have like, you know, tiny guys trying to like collect this, but then when I saw this news, I was like, okay, oh, maybe that's what they're trying to do, right?
mm,
But I figured out reading the news, I saw that okay, it's not fully about AI agents. They just, sort of like merged all their business focused AI apps into
mm.
all their business focused AI,
Yeah.
merged everything and put it in like an app store where developers can now go and then sort of like download, use from there and all those things. So according to them, apps on this marketplace will be streamlined for easy use in existing Microsoft products. And
Mm,
Microsoft customers will pay for them via existing Microsoft billing relationships, right?
mm,
Unlike
mm,
consumer app stores, Microsoft will not charge a commission on apps available on the marketplace. So I think they're going to charge you one-time payment. So they said Microsoft's charging a publishing fee to apps listed there and make money from whatever Microsoft services developers selling on the marketplace may be using. So
mm,
they're going to charge you one-time fee. You just put your app there, and
mm,
then other people can be able to use your app. But
mm.
also, I'm thinking that some part of the news feels like it's only Microsoft focused app,
Yeah. It
right?
has to be based on
But I
using.
guess it's also interesting to see.
It's like AWS Marketplace too.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I must build using their
Yeah. Yeah.
right. Yeah. I'm also wondering why would they now charge me one-time payment, right? Be free. Just review, put it up. You can share
No, I mean
revenue.
it's like
If
it's like an
it's
app store.
because it's
It's
just
like an
for
app
you.
store, right? For Apple also you have to pay one time, I think. Developer license or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
That's standard practice. I think it's
very
it'd be interesting to know that because one of the thing that obviously I'm trying to figure out is the pricing, right?
yeah.
Usage-based pricing model for AI agents is going to be really interesting. I've noticed there are some startups now doing especially that. So standard plugin Stripe charge X dollars per month subscription free, not necessarily going to translate it for agentic apps, right? So for agentic apps, the way I want to price it is completely usage-based model, right? How many tokens are in and out.
Yeah.
On that, you're going to add your markup. So it's a different pricing strategy. So looking at your notes there, I feel like Azure might be providing that, which would be great benefit for app builders. Then you don't have to worry about it, because then you don't have to plug in another pricing vendor or something. So that could be interesting. That's a good value add, definitely, because that's a space that lots of these apps are struggling right now.
Yeah. So I think I now wonder who is going to finally build the app store that everybody, no matter where you build your AI from, you can bring it, right? So I mean, if I go to put an, well, I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll
No,
find
I'm
out.
still I'm still going in the aspect of curation. I think trust and security is very, very important.
Yeah.
Not numbers. I mean, where the market is right now, I mean, there's trust issues. I mean, I can build agent from prompts. And I'm not going to name any vendors. I'm going to build an agent from prompt, and that will be magical for you. In reality, it really doesn't work that way, guys. Never works that way. Um, so, so asking businesses to completely trust them and use them is it's not working that way. If you in
No
the
working,
market
yeah.
right now, there is lots of this concern about am I getting value? And MIT story was one of that, right? Lots of companies are struggling to get really dollar value out of all of this AI agent implementation. So
Yeah.
having the cure of having very trust and reliable way to implement something is key now. That's the moat. That's the differentiation.
The differentiation,
So
yeah.
I have one small story in here. I don't know if we don't have time, we don't have to cover it too. I mean, I think this Hugging Face released a new data set. This data set is completely built on PDFs. It's called
Oh,
Fine
that's
PDFs.
interesting.
It has 3 trillion token data set. Um,
Wow.
The PDFs are sort of interesting. How did they do it? They combined smart text extractions with GPU power OCR plus deduplication. So they did lots of stuff to create this data set for you. The interesting thing about the
Oh,
PDFs unlock richer, higher quality data, um, often longer than web pages. Now, this is interesting because we are getting into the point where agencies should start working with PDFs, right? PDFs is where most of the important information are stored in organization and enterprises. It could be invoices
yeah.
coming in PDF. It could be contracts, the legal contracts, which are all in PDF formats, right? Anything you do to
Yeah.
sign is all PDF. So having this data set is essentially giving way is like, hey, all the agent builders or builders out there now can use this data sets to sort of fine tune their model so that we can build agents which are better at sort of parsing these PDFs.
Yeah. I was demoing our tool today to a
Yeah,
freelancer,
yeah,
right? And then she asked me a question,
yeah.
right? So apparently I saw a job on Upwork and I was like, yo, help me apply for this
Yeah.
job. Then the agent came back and said, hi, I think I need more
Mm.
context. Tell me when you worked about this, where about this. And then he said you can provide a PDF or a Google Doc link. And then I just started looking for ways to add PDF. It was a demo, so I couldn't add a PDF, right?
Mm.
So I just had to like copy my CV and paste in the chat box. So yeah, PDFs are
That's a
very
good one.
interesting things.
Yeah.
I mean, three. I think for ChatGPT, you have 3 limits per day, 3 PDF upload per day, right? I think I exceed once school resumes now and I start reading again.
Yeah.
I always exceed my
Yeah.
PDF upload limits,
Mm.
right? Because there's a lot of PDF, school curriculum,
Yeah.
school work, everything comes in PDF. And if I'm going to pay for ChatGPT soon,
Mm.
it's going to be
Oh, there you go. And it's not
yeah.
about text too. PDFs are diagrams and images that you need to parse,
Mhm.
right? So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So yeah, that's the end of today's session. Guys. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an interesting It's been an interesting conversation,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
our YouTube channel, subscribe, and then join us next week Monday for another episode of the 10x Developer Podcast. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, Precious. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, bye.